Good evening, guys. Today we're going to discuss and develop some of the exercises that you can see over here. I'm going to be developing one by one so you can understand each step of the exercise, okay? And this one is telling to us enter three numbers and show the average. It's telling to us that we're going to have an input, but it's not telling which type of input, if the number are integer or float. So in this case, we are going to guess that the number is integer, and we're going to display that average. So we're going to start making the exercise. So we know that our int, and inside here we enter a number, over here num2 int input, enter a number, num3 int input, enter a number, and over here we already have our three numbers. Now we're going to make a variable called average, and over here we're going to open parentheses, and we're going to sum the three numbers that we enter. Now, something that we need to be very careful, we are going to input these numbers, so we need to convert this string to an int. That is why we put int, and then inside of it we put the input. Now this one, we want the average, an integer average, so in this case we are going to put 1 division double. That way it's going to represent that it's going to make an integer division, and we're going to print. We open double quotes, the average is, and over here we are going to make str, because we want to convert this number to a string, so we can join this one and this little guy without problems. Good. And that is the first exercise, so we are going to run it. Enter a number 3, 4, and 2, and the average is 3. And that is the exercise 1. The exercise 2. A restaurant sold 315 lunches on Monday. On Tuesday it sold 25% more, and on Friday it sold 35% more. How much the restaurant sold on a single week? So we already know the value of the Monday, how many lunches they sold on Monday, 315. Now they want to know how many they sold on Tuesday. They are saying they sold 25% more than on Monday, and on Friday they sold 35% more than on Monday. So we are going over here, and we're going to make the exercise, factor, rename, there. In this case, we don't need to enter information from the keyboard. Tuesday is saying to us that it sells 25% more. So in this case, we're going to add the plus sign, and then we're going to open parentheses, and we are going to multiply Monday by 0.25. Now we are going to add Friday, and on here I'm going to say Monday plus, we are going to open parentheses, and here I'm going to multiply by 0.35. Now I already have Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Now I can print. So we're going to say here the total is, here we're going to add the plus. We already know that we need to convert this to a CR because the total is a number, and this little guy over here is a string. So to join the number with the string, we need to convert the total to a string, and that we do it by calling str. We open the parentheses, and there we add the total and we close the parentheses. Now we can run it, and there is the total. So that is the exercise 2. Now we are going to go to the exercise number 3. He's saying to us, enter 2 numbers and generate a random number. The last number will determine the math operation, and then you are going to show the result. So let's try it and do the exercise 3. So we go here, and we are going to start. By writing the number, the first number is an int. We need an input, and over here enter a number. Now we need a second number, and the third number, if we remember, was asking to us to use a random. So we import random to do this one, and we are going to say random, and we are going to use randint to generate a random int, and we're going to say from 1 to 4 is going to generate for us a random int. And we are going to add here operation, and we're going to say that this is 0, and we're going to start asking if the num3 is equal to 1. We are going to start operation. We're going to say num2 plus num1, and that is the sum. Now we're going to add elif, and we're going to say num3 equal to 2. The operation is going to be num2 minus num1. And then we make another elif, and we say that if num3 is equal to 3, the operation that we're going to make is going to be a multiplication. Else, the operation that it's going to make is going to be the division. So we go over here and we say that num1 is going to divide by num2, and it was telling to us to print the result. So the result of that math operation is, and we add a plus here, we call str, and we call operation over here, and that is going to be the exercise number 3. So we run it, and we start by 3 and 4. Was a multiplication, so it's functioning. Okay, and that's the exercise number 3. Now, the exercise number 4 is asking to us to enter 4 grades, and if the average is greater than 17, show approve, otherwise it's going to show fail. So we're going to go over here and we're going to make a new exercise. This one is the exercise 4. So we start. It was asking to us 4 grades. So grade 1, input, and over here enter your first grade, enter your last grade, third grade. And here we are going to enter your fourth. But we are going to leave it over here this way, so it's going to be a little bit more easy for you to write it on the now we need the average. So for that we create a variable called average, and we open parentheses so we can sum the grade 1 plus the grade 2, the grade 3, and the grade 4. And we are going to divide this one by the amount of grades that we enter. In this case, we entered 4 grades, so we're going to divide it by 4. And we are going to compare if average is greater or equal to 70. We are going to print approved. Else, we are going to print failed. Now, we are going to run the exercise. Number 4. And the average is telling to us that failed. And it's working good. So now it's asking to us to enter a number and show if it's odd or even. So for that we go again and we start to make a new exercise. And we start with entering a number. Enter a number. And now we are going to compare if this little guy is odd, if it's odd, or if it's even. So for that we are going to use the mod. So we are going to say num mod 2 if this is equal 0. That means the value is going to be even. Another case, and else, that means it's going to be odd. So now we can test our exercise, and if I put here 5, saying to us that the number is odd. Now we're going to the exercise number 3, and it's telling to us enter 3 numbers and show the max number. In this case, Python is so swift that it already have a function that can do that for us. So if we go, it's telling to us to enter 3 numbers. So we are going to enter three numbers. When we already have our 3 numbers, now we can get the max number. So for that, number max, and we're going to call the function that is called max. So we are going to start num2 and num3. And we're going to print the max number is and we're going to run it. 45, 65, 23. The max number is 65. And the answer is correct. So that is the max number. And it's the exercise number 3. Now on this little guy is saying to us that 1 gram is equal to 1000 millimeter cubic. So a person wants to compare a value in millimeter cubic to grams and see the result. 1 gram is equal to 1000 millimeter cubic. So that means the conversion that we're going to make is a division. So for that we say exercise 7, and we're going to say that these are the millimeter cubics, and over here say to enter the value on millimeter cubics, and then we already know that if we want this 2 grams, that means that we need to add the millimeter cubics, and then we are going to divide it by 1000. Okay, so we go again to get your 1000, and there's our conversion. Now we can print. So we're going to say the amount of grams is, and here we grab the grams, but don't forget the str, so we can convert this little guy to string so it can be displayed. Now we can run it. So we run it over here, and if I put here 1000 is 1 gram. So the answer is correct. Now if I enter 2 numbers on the exercise number 8, I need to enter 2 numbers and perform an integer division. If the result is divisible by 4, we are going to print the result. Otherwise, we are going to print the number is not divisible by 4. So we are going to start with the exercise number 8, and we're going to see over here he's asking to us enter 2 numbers. Okay, so we need to enter 2 numbers. So we enter a number, and then we enter the number again, and now he's saying to us that he's going to make a division with these 2 guys. So we make the division, and he's saying to us that that division needs to be divisible by 4. So we're going to say mod 4 equal 0. That means if the remainder is 0, that means it's divisible by 4. If not, it means that that is not divisible by 0. So it's telling to us the result of that division is, and here we grab division. Now it's telling to us the result is not divisible by 4. So we run it. 48 12. The result of the division is 4. That means this was divisible by 4. Now if I put here 48 and 13, the result is not divisible by 4. That means this one is already finished. Enter a number and show if it's prime. Okay. On this one, we are going to make it very quick. So this one is the exercise 9. So the first part is telling to us to enter a number. Now we need to remember that a prime number are all the numbers that are greater than 1. If this is greater than 1, that means we can make sure that we can check this one if it's a prime number. Now on the range we need to start from 2 and we're going to continue until the number on this loop. On this loop. So we're going to compare if this little guy is divisible by x, that means this number is not prime. And we're going to break the cycle, the loop. Now on the else, that means on the else we're going to print this is a prime number. Having this, we can know that something that is less than 1 is not a prime number, so we can say here this is not a prime number. And over here we're going to adjust this little guy to tell the same thing. A prime number. Okay. So we are going to run it, and we're going to enter a value 13. This is a prime number. So it means it's only divisible by itself. And that is the exercise number 9. Okay, let's go over here. Enter 3 integers and perform a sum. If the result is greater than 100, multiply the result of the sum by 25. Otherwise, we subtract 50 from the result of the sum and show the result. Okay. Oh, I didn't see this far on the exercise 9. Okay, for this one, we are going to create a variable here, v, and v is going to be true. That means this little guy we're going to remove it from here, and v is going to be false over here. And there we have it. Oh, we can add over here. So we can done to keep it simple. A simple break. Okay, there. That way, if we run it and we put 12, this is not a prime number. Good. And we put 3. This is a prime number. Okay, now that I fixed that, we can pass to enter 3 integers and perform the sum. That means that this one is the exercise number 10. So we go over here and we start. Exercise 10. And it's telling to us to enter 3 integers. So we start. An input, enter a number, num2, int, input, enter a number, and num3 int an input, enter a number, and it's asking to us to make a sum. So we're going to say this one that we're going to make an addition. So we're going to sum the three numbers that we enter, and it's telling to us if that result is greater than 100, we're going to multiply the result of the sum by 25. Otherwise, we are going to subtract 50 from the result of the sum, and we're going to display the result. So we are going to need one little guy that is going to have the result. If it's greater than 100, that means it's going to multiply. So the result is going to be the addition multiplied by 25. Otherwise, on the else, the result, we are going to subtract 50, and then we're going to print. So we're going to start 25, 25, 45, and 35. If you can see, here's the mistake. So we put it here, there. That is why we don't need to forget to add the str. So if we do that again, 35, 45, and 65, and it's a multiply. So that is the exercise number 10. Now we are going to enter three numbers, and we are going to show the main number. So for that, we are going to go over here, and we're going to say exercise 11, and it's telling to us to enter three numbers. So we're going to enter the three numbers. We enter a number. Now we have our three numbers, and we want to know the min number. So for that, we're going to call min, that is a function that is going to return to us the min number of all the values that we're going to send. In this case, num1, num2, and num3. And now it was saying to us to display, so we are going to display this is the min number. we get here the str, the nummin, and we're running 12, 3, and 0. The min number is 0. So only we're going to add the space over here. And that's all. And that's the exercise number 11. Now, the exercise number 12, you can see here, it's asking to us to enter 3 numbers and then display them in ascending order. That means we are going to display 1, 2, and 3. Okay, for doing this, first we need to add the 3 numbers. Okay, the 2 numbers and the last one, the number 3. We have an input, enter a number. Now that we have these 3 ones, we can compare. If num1 is less than num2 and yes, num1 is less than num2 and num1 is less than num3, that means if num1 is less than num2 and num1 is less than num3, it's going to be the first one that we're going to print. So we're going to print num1. Now we are going to make an if to compare num2. If num2 is less than num3, that means the second one is going to be num2 and the third one is going to be num3. But what happened if num3 is less than num2? That means the second one is going to be num3. So for that we're going to do an else. On the else we're going to add num3 and we are going to be, the last one is going to be num2. And that is going to be if num1 is less than num2 and num3. But we're missing the rest. What happened if, with an else we are going to compare if num2 is less than num1 and num2 is less than num3. That means the first number that we're going to print is num2. If num1 less than num3, we are going to print num1. And the third one, that is going to be the last one, is going to be num3. But if num3 is less than num1, that means we need an else over here to print first num3 if that happens. So That way we have it covered when num2 is less than others. Now we are going to make an else, and we're going to print num3, and if num2 is less than num1, that means the first one, the second one in this part is going to be, oh sorry, num2, and the third one is going to be num1. But what happens if num1 is going to be less than num2? So for that we add an else over here. The same, we say to it that the second one is going to be num1 and the third one is going to be num2. But we want this to print this way. So for that we are going to add over here a comma, and we're going to add n, and over here we are only going to add a space, and that way we are going to add it to all our prints over here. See, all our prints. Okay, so that way if we run this and we add 6, 3 and 9, is going to print for us 369. They are already ordered. Okay, and that is the exercise number 12. Now here it's saying to us, enter two numbers and check who is the max number, or if they are the same, show the result in a message. So the number 13, we are going to make it this way. Selling to us, enter two numbers, that means num1 enter a number, num2 we enter a number 2, and now we can compare. So we are going to say here max result. But it's saying to us to print something if they are equal. So in this case we need to know if num1 is greater than num2, that means we're going to print this is the max number. So we're going to add the str, and over here we're going to add num1. We add an elif, and we say if num2 is greater than num1, that means we're going to print this is the max number. And because of this one, we need to print, we needed to make it this exercise this way, because the max is only going to give us who is the max. With the max function, it's only going to give us the max number, but we needed to get sure if they are equals. If they're not equals, we need to print who is the max. Now this is the most proper way to do it. So if I put here 13 and 13, the numbers are equals. If I enter 23 and 21, the max number is 23. So it's working correctly. So we're already finished the exercise number 13. Now the exercise number 14. In this case, we are going to enter two strings. In the first one, we are going to enter a word, and in the second one, you will enter only a letter that will be removed from the word, and the program will end up showing the word with the letter removed. So in this case, we are going to remove a letter. So for that, in this case, on the exercise 14, we need something different. So string 1, well, we're going to put it another way, word. So in this case, we only need an input, because input already is going to give us a string. Enter a word. Now we need a letter. Enter a letter, and now we are going to remove. So for that, remove letter. For that, we are going to call word, and we are going to call a function inside string that is called replace. It's telling to us which is the old str, in this case is letter, and we are going to remove it with double quotes. We are not going to add space because we need to remove that character. That way we open and we close double quotes without a space. And now we can print remove letter. Now we're going to run it. to say hello world, and I'm going to delete the letter O, and there it is. Okay, this is the exercise number 14. Now the exercise number 15, in this case we are going to enter a word and we are going to capitalize. We are going to capitalize it and show the result. So for that, we are going to go to Python file, and on exercise 15 we already know that it's a word. Enter a word, and over here we're going to grab the word and we are going to say upper. That is going to make all the word in uppercase, and we're going to print caps. Now we are going to run it, and we are going to write it, and there it is. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed it. Have a nice day.